Hello. Today I'll be talking to you all about an important topic within leader-member exchange, as well as just its application to workplaces as a whole. That topic is competent communication. Originally myself, I wanted to go into automotive journalism, but just because of my experience with more recent jobs, I have found interest in working within housing. And so today, I'm going to be speaking with my dad, who at one point during his time with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development was vice president of his union. So we'll go ahead and welcome him here. All right, Dad, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, fantastic. All right. So, Dad, I just want to go ahead and start by saying, or asking really. So, how long did you serve as vice president of the union at HUD?
I served a 3-year term as vice president.
Okay, fantastic. I'm sure there was a lot to go on there during that time. Um, and of course, with that said, I need to ask, what would you say was kind of really just the most important, I guess, communications issue that you faced during your time with the union, like something that you really had to tackle that involved, communicating that issue to members of the union?
Well, during the 3-year term, I had one issue that does come to mind, and it was a health crisis that impacted 26 Federal Plaza in New York City. That is the second largest building outside of the Pentagon. And what occurred was that an employee in housing and urban development had gone overseas and, without her knowledge, brought back TB to the building, to our building, and potentially exposed thousands of people to this to TB.
Right.
And I had a lot of meetings with not only employees, but I had meetings with management and also the New York City Department of Health on how to contain this issue and keep everybody safe.
Okay, got you. So, you said that you had these meetings, of course, with just different individuals in order to keep people safe. So these meetings, I guess, more directly one on one, were more of like your mode of communication, to kind of get that message to those involved. You would say.
Yes, because of the urgency of the situation, we had to have not only face-to-face meetings, but we had to have conference calls with Washington, with the New York City Department of Health, and also the New York State Department of Health.
So did this I just want to just confirm, this also extended, of course, to making sure you had meetings with those who were members of the union as well, or this was just mostly
Abs-
with just
Absolutely. We were prepared to, as far as our local was concerned, we were prepared to hire medical staff to test each and every employee if necessary.
oh wow, that definitely sounds serious. um so this, I mean, this was a pretty dire situation. I mean, it was more of like it's something that you experience in the moment. You really have to act as soon as possible. Did you find any real serious, like, concerns or issues along the way, or even restrictions with trying to just I guess get that message out and try and get any kind of serious progress toward making sure that everyone was safe, everything was all good at your office?
Well, since the employee was interacting with staff, and again, the building is a large building, but we had a central area where everybody dined. There was a dining room area in the building. It's the potential for exposure was great, and what I was able to do, I was able to convince the management, and this would include also building management, to have the health unit conduct TB testing
Okay.
of all interested employees and even anybody that was a visitor at Federal Plaza.
Okay. Yeah, and that's that's definitely something that's pretty major thing to have to propose. Now you know when you were trying to speak to these individuals to try and get that approved. How important would you say it was to make sure that you competently communicated that to them? How important would you say it was to, ensure that you were using the right words, you were, protecting, the interests of everyone as well as those affected, while making sure that you still got support for
Mm-hmm.
what it is you were pushing for.
Well, it was pretty important. It was a health crisis, since exposure to TB is pretty a pretty bad situation. Um, but naturally, building management especially wanted to minimize it because immigration is in that building. There's so many different offices that are housed at Federal Plaza. You have the FBI,
Mm-hmm.
you have immigration, you have so many Social Security. So there's a lot of people running in and out of the building. And
Right.
actually, it could have been a very sensitive situation because it involves so many different people.
Right.
So naturally, how do you deal with the problem? Some people are trying to minimize it. Other people are trying to just deal with the problem at hand. And we had to get a happy medium. And that happy medium was at least have uh, people that were in the building tested for tuberculosis.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, yeah, that's something that I definitely was thinking about while you were telling me this because, you know, that's the thing. As you said, you have multiple different agencies within that one building. It's not just HUD that's housed by Federal Plaza. It's also, like you said, Social Security, the FBI, immigration, and you need to figure it out on a general, office wide, department wide level first before you kind of start making a decision necessarily or make a decision that involves, I guess letting other departments know in a way so that that way there's there's no serious panic. You can get the desired results you want to see without really creating havoc in that area. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I that's exactly what was going through my mind, as you were, initiating this story. So, so what, at least when it, so now, I know that, the primary focus was, talking about getting the message from like leaders to members, but I do really want to ask, cause I am interested in this now, hearing about, you know, how it then got around to other departments. Um, how, when it came to obviously like because you did have a responsibility, maybe not like you necessarily, but the Department of Housing and Urban Development had a responsibility since it happened within their department. you know how did they go about formally letting other offices know within Federal Plaza about what had happened?
Well, I had to sit down with the chief counsel at HUD and discuss the protocol for a situation like this. And that's when he disseminated uh, the policy of handling a potential spread of a tuberculosis in the office place.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What
Mm.
you're saying? I definitely feel like I misunderstood that. Could you say it again? I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
No, I said could you because I definitely feel like I misunderstood what you just said. Could you say it again, please?
Oh, the council, HUD council.
Right.
I had to have meetings with HUD council, and it was HUD council's responsibility to ensure that all managers were advised of the policy that had to be implemented as far as the spread of tuberculosis. See, it was incumbent upon individual managers to let their staff also know about the possibility that of exposure to TB.
Right.
Because don't forget, you have, even though you're a member of the government, not all members of the government are union employees.
Right.
Okay, because it's an open shop, so you can, if you don't want to become a member, you don't have to.
Right.
It's really on an individual choice whether you want to be a member of the union or not.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I definitely feel like I misheard at first. I thought, you know, you were saying more that, you know, handling what I guess me just being a little crazy. I thought you said something along the lines of handling what sounds like could be an intentional spread of TB. So I was so confused. I was like, there's a conspiracy behind this? I was confused.
No. But no conspiracies. Just trying to get the information out, but
right.
doing it properly without, you know, panicking people as well.
Right. And that's really, you know, like I said when we started this, you know, the topic here is competent communication. And, you know, this is the literal definition of it in play. You know, just ensuring that it's communication that isn't going to put others at risk, while also ensuring that it you know, gives everybody ample chance to comprehend what is going on at the time, you know. But I mean, that's great. I can't believe it that during that time, I mean, you spoke with so many different members of just different departments, and you really undertook, it sounds like you really undertook a large responsibility, just trying to make sure that, you know, those within your union, as well as those who may not have necessarily been in the union, but within your office, you know, were protected, knew what was going on, and knew what next steps to take. So that really sounds, you know, very responsible of you, not just as a, you know, as a union employee, but also as a human being. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
Of course. All right. Well, I mean, this is really most of what I want to talk to you about. So I appreciate your time today. And, you know, I definitely would another time love to hear more about how the situation ultimately played out. All right?
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Dad. I appreciate it. You have a wonderful day, okay?
Okay, you too.